Cool. So, have you written beliefs and such?
I've written beliefs, but two of them conflict. Not in a... Oh, they're definitely, like, totally conflicting ideals. They'll never get along, but as in a... Oh, this could lead to a choice.
Okay. Do you wanna talk about them?
Are we recording it?
Yeah, I've been recording.
Oh, shit.
I just like stealth start the episodes.
God damn, I'm over here like fucking eating my pancake, just shoving them into my mouth like a fucking freak. And you're over here like, let's just talk about your beliefs.
Let's go,
We're
let's do
recording
it.
right now, by the way.
Spinning wheel, ain't no
Okay.
time. Gotta play.
I'm not the one who was late, okay? I was here 30 minutes before the session started. Alright, belief number 1, I will bring fame and fortune to my company and prove that I am the most suitable to lead the military branch of House Nellens. I will use what time I have to research what is happening on Gloam. So I've turned my sights away from Lookshy, and I'm just like, alright, what happened on Gloam? Because I got fucked up. Number 2, so the same Rokujai has given me a great opportunity. I will not let physical harm come to him. Number 3 is, I was thinking about this a couple days ago, and I was like, oh right, she exists. And I was like, actually, she's pretty important for how little attention I've been giving her. So I had to find out her name, which I didn't remember. So I just looked at the list, and I'm pretty sure this is her. Sign is Velar Enna. Cool. Is key to Rokujai's plans and the easiest target. I will protect her as fiercely as I do Rokujai. Which, if both of them are ever in trouble, that's gonna be.
You're gonna have to decide, yeah.
I will have to decide who is more important to me.
So I had a feeling that you would write one about Aina, but I wasn't sure.
How dare you try to predict what I would do?
Well, I can't remember how much I've told you about Aina.
She's very intelligent, apparently. But her personality is about as dry as a fucking saltine cracker.
Yeah, because she hasn't done a lot yet, but I think that you would. Yeah, maybe I didn't tell you this, but you like in the last month that you spent with her and Rokujai, you would have certainly learned in that time that she's a demonologist.
Excuse me.
Like her specialty, because she went to Heptagram as well, and her specialty is demonology and summoning.
Oh my god. What? But she's like tiny fragile lady.
Yeah. Whereas Rokujai's is spirit binding.
Are you telling me that these motherfuckers had like powerful spirits and demons at their command, and they decided to hire me because I could definitely give them the protection that they need?
Yeah, but demonology, well, demon summoning and such is it's a risky process.
Right.
So like as is spirit binding actually, and so like part of the reason that Rokujai brought her was like she might be useful in terms of like helping with sorceress shit. But she's she's also like trying to be his protege or whatever in the...
Yeah, isn't she the one that he slated to take over this new business if it goes by okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I must not have told you that prior, but that's why I thought you might write one, because I had told you that, and then you were asking questions about demonology.
Oh, well, no. That was... Oh, I suppose those were two different things.
Yeah.
But, I never heard about the demonology, but I remember you saying that she was an accomplished magic wielder of some kind.
Yeah, I definitely told you that
Rokugai
she went
talked about,
to
Rokugai
Heptagram.
talked about that while we were at while we were at Yolanam. And I asked him, like, yo, what's her deal? And he was like, oh, don't worry about her. She can do magic. And I was like, okay. But I didn't realize her magic was, hey, I can summon fucking horrific spirits from Malphaeus or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man, that should be interesting if her and I ever start fucking talking about Malphaeus. I summon demons from Malphaeus. Oh yeah, I've been there!
Yeah, so I think with that in mind, Aina may become a more key player in your beliefs. Also, bearing in mind your special belief.
Yes, my special belief. I have found a way to leave Malphaeus, so we'll go back for Queen Mary and her sons. You may say, no, Jennifer, don't sound so excited. And I'll say, bitch, I'll do what I want. I was bamboozled into this. I was tricked. By my own character's compassion. Oh, man.
Okay.
Can I read something to you?
Sure, yeah.
Totally unrelated, but I just saw this. It's a Twitter post. And it says, I've been giving my 7-year-old son high five since birth, all up highs and down lows. Today I'm gonna hit him with 2 slow. Welcome to the real world, son.
Amazing.
Oh my god. And then all my traits.
Oh, yeah, you can read those if you want.
I think everyone knows my instincts. Everyone knows my traits. We haven't had a trait vote in a while, so they've all stayed the same.
That's fine.
Everything from gullible to wary.
God, you have so many die traits.
I never fucking use them!
I know.
It's like, what are they for? Fuck if I know.
Well, they're just really situational, so... Plus, like, a natural byproduct of being exalted is a huge, like, trait bloat in the die trait department. Because you get, like, 4 or 5 die traits just from being an exalt.
I think I've used one of them consciously. And I was feeling the air technique. And I've only used one call-on trait, which is all-encompassing art sense. That's it!
Yep.
That's all I got. I've acquired an herbalist toolkit, though.
You have,
and a fucking fancy... I've also acquired a fancy snow globe with look shy. What does it look like, you may ask? Very distinctive, I say. Oh, hold on. I went back, right? Because I was in our Discord chat, and I was talking, and something came up, and I don't know why, but I was talking about the look shy thing, and the in-jokes, so I went back and listened to all of the Hunt for the Assassin.
All right.
to find out what was really said. And let me tell you, the joke that we are saying now is not at all what was actually said in the session.
I had a feeling it wasn't. So what is it? What did I actually say?
You just, like, we literally just asked, so, like, what does he look like? And your only response was, I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I have no clue where we got the distinctive part from. Like, I felt so deep that that was a thing that was actually said, but I went back. I can't find it.
Was it? Was it
And I don't know if,
later?
like, it's... I have no clue. I don't know if it was in another session. I don't know. Because, like, our sessions then were, like, 8 hours long,
Yeah,
Will.
yeah,
I can't do this.
I know. You did it once, you don't have to do it again.
Basically. And I listened to, like, skipping back and forth to, like, a good 3 hours of it in the last YouTube video of that particular session. There was, like, 4 videos from that one session.
Mm.
And, like, I got to that, and I was like, but is that it? Is that where we got it from? I refuse to believe.
Maybe it was, like, at the beginning of the next session? Like, in a recap or something?
It might have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, but it was just so weird. I was listening for it so hard, and then I get to it. So what did he actually look like, Will? I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm like, what? This is the meme that we have been, like, using for the last 2 years?
Doesn't sound very distinctive to me.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Okay. So yeah, do you want your third belief to just stay as it is and see if they conflict, or do you want to write something more specific about Aina?
I don't know, because I don't know anything about her. Apparently, besides that she fucking summons demons.
And that could be a belief then. Just try and interact with Aina more. Like the first part could stay the same. Like, you recognize that she's key to Rokujo's plans, and then the actionable thing that you'll do is, like, actually find out what she's capable of and whether she actually is the easiest target or not.
That's a good point. Nabi, which is a little disturbing to think about. 'Cause, you know, maybe this is a fault on my part, but I doubt it because I have no faults. But I have always considered Rokujai to be a fairly powerful man. But I feel as though the more sessions that we play with him, the more I feel that he may actually just be the equivalent of an Exalted stick. He's a very nice Exalted stick, and he's very pretty to look at, and he says some very nice things. But how much resistance is a stick gonna give you when push comes to shove?
Yeah, Rokujai has he has, like, he's good at what he's good at, but, like,
Fighting is not what he is good at.
I mean, he can fight, but it's like he can't take a hit.
Yeah. He's like a baby.
Yeah, like the fact that
a baby is very powerful, but you can't punch a baby and expect it to live.
Yeah, I think, like, without even going into his backstory, like, the fact that he has, like, a good martial arts skill, but such low steel probably says quite a lot.
Yep.
Because most,
You had
like...
the best tutors of my family's money could buy, but also you've never gotten anything worse than a paper cut.
Yeah, like most of your steel comes from actually getting into fights and seeing horrific shit.
My steel's great.
Yeah.
I've seen so much shit.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, in the original, like... Because Rokujai is technically a canonical character, but I've definitely made him into my own thing now. The way that he's presented in the original material is honestly a little bit of a Mary Sue, because he's like...
I mean, so is Batman.
He's like an amazing... Like, the way he's presented in the original material is like, he's an amazing martial artist, and like a top quality sorcerer, and he's this like beautiful seductionist man and whatever else. And then I like actually put him through a character burn, and like he just doesn't have enough skill points to do all of that.
Somewhere along the line, some lies have been told.
Yeah.
Is he also a really good gossiper? Because that might account for a lot of this. I will never forget the time he threw up in front of that blood ape. Like, on his deathbed, I will lean down over him and be like, I remember what you did that summer. Oh, God. So what? Did he, like, lose... When you put him through a character burner, did he lose some stuff then?
No, he has... Well, I decided to focus on spirit binding instead of sorcery. And... yeah, like, he's still a 6 or 7 life path character. But he's just, like, he's not the expert in all fields that the book makes him out to be. Which, yeah, probably is like something to do with his reputations or his gossiping and whatever.
I feel like everyone in the canonical books, though, is like that.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my god, they were great fighters, but they also are super intelligent and geniuses, but they also could, like, fucking give you an orgasm at 10 paces with just a single look.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just wondering how anyone in creation gets anything done with these fuckers running around. You look over across the street, you meet someone's eye happens to be exalted, oh shit, you're dead.
Yeah.
You're basically dead.
Well, honestly, it's like... It's a virtue of the mechanics in the original Exalted game, where they give you so many ability points when you start a new character that you can min-max if you want to, but you can also get away with putting like 2 or 3 in everything, and then you're like reasonably good at everything.
Which I guess is just a product of being exalted. You become exalted, you
Yeah.
become good.
But it's, I don't know, it's more fun when characters have flaws. In my mind.
What are those? Oh yeah, I looked at your wiki.
Yeah, I made a wiki.
And I saw the thanks given to me as the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it. She may have been nerfed, but she's still the strongest character you could probably get from this. I'm like, I don't feel like it. I feel none of that.
Yeah.
All that love you were giving me in the wiki, not feeling it here. It's gone. Where'd it go? Who knows? Cotton Eye Joe.
So anyway, should we play the game?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out how to word, because I forgot what you said about anus, so I'm trying to figure out how to reword it again. Shrug. Okay. How about this? Linus Veller Enna is key to Rokuda's plans. I will talk to her and try to assess her abilities for any upcoming trouble.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. I'm ready!
Okay. So
Oh yeah, it's still like fucking sleeting.
yeah, when last we left off, Pinder was here for one. He's
Oh
not
yeah,
here today.
sorry to tell you guys, but Pinda is no longer playing with us. He's dead. Yeah, he just died. So,
Yeah. Okay.
sorry about that.
So, but his sister isn't dead.
His sister's not dead.
She's so close to dead though, but she didn't die. So I figured it out at the end of the last session and like how long it takes it to heal. She's at -5 to everything at the moment, which means she's knocked out, like completely knocked out.
Right.
And then she's not gonna wake up. It'll take her a month to recover the first dice. Let's see, but that'll still put her at a total of -4. It's only after another 3 months, so in 4 months she'll remove -2, or a total of -3. She'll still be at -2 to everything, but she'll finally wake up. So yeah, Ikaro's sister is in a coma for the next 4 months.
Awesome. Brilliant.
And yeah. That's so she's basically out of the picture now. And I think we didn't really say, but I guess for convenience, let's just because we ended like still in the street, like after you'd finished resuscitating her and healing her with your herbalism skills. So yeah, basically the let's cut to like the next morning, where you've taken her back to the tavern, or the hotel that you and Rokujai are staying at, and
Yep.
like by the time you got back, it was probably kind of getting on for midnight or something.
Yep.
So she's probably in your room.
Awesome.
And Koro, I guess, went back to Lisu's house. So is she like on your bed, or did you just lie her on the floor?
I'm not gonna lie her on the floor, Will. God damn. I'll put her on my bed. Jeez. I can't believe you even need to ask this. How does Denani put this comatose woman that she needs alive in order to just throw her on the bed like throw her on the floor like a sack of potatoes, or actually put her on a bed? Of course I'm gonna put her on a bed.
All right, just checking. Well, I'm also trying to set the scene. And yeah, so I guess you slept on the floor and she slept on your bed.
Yep.
And yeah, it gets to sort of around breakfast time. Um, and yeah, you hear a knock at your door.
Does this door have a peephole?
Probably not.
Alright, I'll just open the fucking door.
Um, yeah, so Rokujai is standing there.
Oh, awesome. I invite him in.
Yeah, so he's wearing like this sort of striped, quite baggy looking, more Luxian clothing. Like it's less oriental, more European medieval / Renaissance. Yeah, and it's like blue and kind of dark white stripes.
Right.
And yeah, when you open the door, he smiles and like nods his head at you and says, and the wind is blowing outside quite strongly still. In fact, you look like maybe as you get up, you like peek out of the window before opening the door, and you see that like yesterday's sleet has turned into like proper snow at this point, and many of the streets are now like covered with a thin layer of white. Yeah, and he smiles and nods at you and says, "Good morning, Donati. How do you fare?"
Well, you know, living a stiff back. Fine. This is a new style for you. I would say I prefer you in Rome clothing, but honestly, you pull everything off, so.
You're too kind. May I come in?
Obviously, please.
And he steps through, and looks at the woman on your bed and says, I guess she's bandaged up, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he wouldn't like make a lewd assumption.
He might make a lewd assumption at first, but then think better of it. Okay. Okay. Alright. Only for like half a second, and then you're like, oh yes, bandage. Probably not.
Yeah, and he just looks at her and looks back at you and says, I take it you found something to do yesterday, then?
You could say that. Rokujai, I would like to introduce you to Tepet Ikora, the Rogue Dragon Lord.
Excuse me? You found her so soon?
I was not expecting it. I will tell you that.
Huh.
I had some very good leads. One of them being our exceedingly lovely friend, Ikoro, who was her twin brother, who was also here looking for her. I didn't realize until yesterday when I ran into him.
He looks at her face, like sleeping face, and says, "Yes, now that you mention it, I do see a resemblance. How fortuitous. Though, which one of you will get the glory for this?"
We've talked that out already. and we will deliver him to his house or appropriate authorities together. So I suppose I'll take a little bit of a dip in the glory, unless I kill him. But honestly, I'm very tired. Oh, speaking of killing, I didn't kill anyone yesterday. Okay, I want to make that perfectly clear. However,
He nods with like a slightly cautious look on his face. Like, okay, why are you telling me this?
alright, but, in my hunt for answers, and as I found out that Ikoro, one, knew about her, two, was sent specifically to try to bring her back by his own family. He became very interested in where I'd gotten my information.
I see.
It was, God, the urge to just be rid of him was so strong, but I needed him. I did eventually have to let loose something, so I told him it came from your house, but it didn't let your name drop or anything. But whoever it is that you found it out from, may want to lay low. Just as a heads up.
Well, I appreciate you keeping my name out of his business. He seems like the kind of person that I don't want to piss off.
Yep. Apparently his job is as an interrogator, so I'm sure the meeting would be lovely.
Lictors. Bunch of bullies, the lot of them.
Yeah, we would never bully anything out of anyone, ever.
It's a necessary part of household business, but one that I prefer to keep out of.
Yeah.
I believe you met one yourself recently. Avaku, he was at the party. The man with the eye patch. Do you remember him?
Oh shit, fucking Will, please remind me who the fuck that was.
The guy who had a...
yelling at his wife?
Yeah.
Oh, right! Oh, the guy with marital issues. Right, of course.
Yeah, and he says he's one of our lictors.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I believe he also served in the Wild Hunt.
Hey, here's a question, Will.
Hmm?
Do I remember what exactly I heard from these two?
Did you write it down?
I'm trying to find it. I have so much. Oh god. Oh god, this is so far back. This is like back when I was fighting hooded lanterns or whatever.
Because I'd rather not just like reveal information to you that I've already, like, when I can help it.
So rude.
Well, it's only because there is an actual trait for doing this.
Yes, I know.
And so it's an incentive to keep notes.
Ah, yes. Okay, I wrote down. Abaku angry about the murder of a young boy and trying to stop the shipment of opium to his village. I don't understand why he was upset though, because I don't remember who murdered whatever, or like who was supposed to stop the shipment. Whether he wanted the shipment of opium to come there, I don't know. Upset about his powers and why he has to use them, and upset about the decadent drug money. I wrote that one down
her in the
specifically.
curving hall of gray marble.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. I don't think that guy's having a good time. He seemed a little stressed when I met him.
I'm not sure what pains him. Probably none of my business either. Anyway, that's good news then. If this Dragon Lord is already dealt with, I must admit I didn't expect it to be so quickly dealt with. But that means that more time can be devoted to my job for you.
To my actual job, yes. I will admit, though, I was incredibly surprised to find her so quickly as well. And in the company of a Celestial Exalted, no less. Which is why I had to... I was very clear, I did not murder anyone yesterday. That includes Celestial Exalted.
He, like... He's like squints at you. And says... A Celestial.
Some type. They had that, the glowy thing. The circle on their forehead. Looked like the... Actually, now that I think about it, she may have been this missing sister that the Corells were looking for. Huh. That would explain why she went into hiding. I'm sorry, I'm putting together all of these dots that I didn't have time to yesterday. But, yes, Miss Rogue Dragonlord here was in the company of some sort of celestial exalted. But, what Luxshy keeps is, 1, none of my business. 2, hasn't paid me to get rid of it yet, so.
A mercenary to the heart.
I already have one job, thank you very much.
Well, they say fortune favors the bold.
Yeah, so does death. I've already faced off against one Celestial Exalted. That was with a group of 4. I'm not so eager to rush back into the fray.
Yeah, he looks back at the Dragon Lady, Dragon Lord, and...
Dragon Lord Lady.
Dragon Lord Lady, yeah, and says... Is she staying put?
I would be intensely surprised if she managed to get up and walk around after what Ikoro did yesterday. She's gonna be out for a very, very long time. It was pure luck that I managed to save her life.
Huh. Impressive.
Honestly, with the wounds that she got yesterday, I'm not sure that she would consider that impressive so much as just my inability to let her die. She might have welcomed that instead. Alright, but I'm ready to accompany you on your business.
Well, first, breakfast.
Oh, thank God. I'm
Um,
sorry. How would do people say thank God? No, they wouldn't. I'd probably
thank,
say something like
like,
thank the Empress.
yeah, either thank the Empress or potentially, like, gods with an S.
That would be blasphemous.
I think not, because, like, it's not that the
But are we like giving praise to gods then? I feel like the phrase would be discouraged at the very least.
yeah, it's probably frowned upon by the Immaculate Order, but it's not like a true heresy, because you're like it's a saying or a phrase or an idiom or whatever. It's not a true prayer. It doesn't have power,
Right.
and it's so general. Like the if you were thanking a specific god, then maybe, but plus, like the Immaculate Order doesn't deny the existence of gods. They just
Right.
deny mortals be allowed to pray to them. So yeah, I think as long as there's an S there, and you're not specifically thanking a specific god, then it's probably fine.
I would like to thank
But
one
yeah,
god in particular, the god
thank
of
the Empress is
blanket.
also appropriate.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and so he leads you down to breakfast, and
Yeah.
I think Einar is there, and you have some food together.
Yay.
Um, and during that breakfast, I think Rokujai says, I think the time is nearing where we can advance our plans here. Today, if possible, unless you already had other things in mind.
Oh no, after yesterday, this is gonna be basically a vacation. Please go ahead.
Mm. Well, and he looks around like somewhat conspiratorially, but then shrugs, uh, and says, "You probably recall uh, how all of this began."
Almost like it was yesterday.
uh, then you remember that I took that man from your charge and
Mhm.
interrogated him.
Of course. But
My
definitely didn't bully the information out of him, right?
well, he looks kind of dour for a sec and says, "My skill at interrogation isn't uh, quite what I hope it to be sometimes, and well, I couldn't get too much information out of him. Um, just enough to know that uh, whatever this vendetta against me involves, it's seems to relate in some way to Valkhawsen. And he like nods roughly in the direction of it from where you're sitting, and says, "The Sorceress Academy here."
Hold on, Will. Will?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can hear me now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said the words, just enough to know, and then went quiet
Oh.
until I heard something about Sorceress Academy.
Okay. Sorry. He said, just enough to know that this whole thing, at least in some way, relates to Valkhawsen, which is the Sorceress Academy in Luxai.
Oh, great.
Um,
Sorcerers.
he yeah, he shrugs and says, during my time at Heptagram, they offer a 1-year exchange program. So I have studied at Valkhawsen before. Though...
You're not going to tell me that you've somehow made enemies with someone who decided to track you all the way across the city.
Well, like I said, I don't know for sure. All I could get out of that man who you caught was that he had ties to Valkhawsen. But my best guess right now is that, yes, somehow I've made an enemy who I don't remember.
This is why you call them back afterwards.
Excuse me?
Donati is attempting to make a joke about Rokujai's sexual history. This is why you call them back afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't know, does Rokujai need explaining, or can I just, be like, the implication is there?
Yeah, I think that hangs in the air for a moment, and maybe Aina stifles a laugh, but Rokujai kind of ignores it.
I shoot Aina whatever the realm equivalent of a thumbs up is. Thanks.
Yeah, so he shakes his head and says, anyway, with that in mind, Valkhawsen is the only real lead I have.
Alright. So what's the plan then?
He he says, well, I'm hoping to get some input on this. I haven't a full plan in mind, honestly. There's perhaps a number of ways we can reveal information. I doubt that, despite my having spent a year there, that they would just let us back in. But And I think he, at this point, says, like, thinks for a moment and then says, maybe discreetness would be better. Let us finish this conversation in more private quarters.
Of course.
Yeah, and then he like, so you move back up to his room, say, and then he continues. And says, yes, as I was saying, I'm open to ideas about this, but one idea that I had is we could, well, try to break in, and there, once in, I could use, call on some of my skills as a spirit binder and ask them for information. Alternatively, Aina, you're a demonologist. Do you know of any demons who may be able to help us here? She shrugs and says, I'll have to think, and you'll have to be more specific. I did bring some of my books with me, though.
I just kind of like, when Rokujai says, like, have any information, I just kind of like touch my short hair self-consciously.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yay, demons. I keep on forgetting I forget.
Which, like, you haven't told them about yet, I'm sure.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Rokujai asked how in the space of when he last met me to when we left the realm, I suddenly had very short hair, but I'm assuming he just thought it was like a fucking haircut or whatever.
Yeah, like a normal ass haircut. Yeah, and he says, alternatively, Donati, you seem to be very good at finding things and people, as evidenced by yesterday. Perhaps you have ideas.
Oh. Hmm. Now, I'm gonna throw something out there that perhaps is not a good idea in your mind, but let me do it anyway. I know that I said I wanted to kill him yesterday, but is there any way that we can use Ikoro's contacts for this? He has an in with one of the families in Lookshy, what was her name? Lee Sue of the Emerald family, I believe?
Rokujai shrugs. Amilar, perhaps? I don't know the gens in Lookshy that well. Aina, like, kicks up a little fuss at that point and says, no, we shouldn't get another house involved with this. 2 is enough. Like, and then
I'm just saying,
Rokujai nods in agreement.
it might be a little easier because all this sneaking and subterfuge has a lot of potential risk involved with it, physical risk that uh, can very easily result in one of us dying from, say, demons or the security systems at this sorcerer's academy. Whereas perhaps maybe talking to people make it a scene, or at least a lot closer than, you know, trying to break into an academy. I know that you hired me for protection, and if it comes to it, I will absolutely protect you with my life. But I feel like as if it's also part of my job to maybe give you different options than, say, throwing yourselves in the middle of danger.
Um, he says, well, strictly speaking, we don't have to break into Valkhawsen, but it makes things easier for me. I can access the spirits of that building from here, but it will be harder.
Just how close do you have to be?
I'm not sure. It depends, really. I think we have to be inside the building, though not necessarily in plain sight.
Okay, so here's a question for you, Will.
Mm-hmm.
Do the sewers run all over the city?
Um, why don't you make an ob2 look shy wise test?
I don't have wises for look shy, that's why. It's up 4 for me! Fuck! I'm not even learning it. It's gonna be a new fucking wise for me. God damn it.
I mean, if they're taking up too much room, you don't have to, like, begin learning every single wise that you...
I will learn everything. What's the failure condition? Just that they don't exist or that I don't know?
So with a wise, like, you can use it to either establish a fact or ask a question about the law. And so the way that you phrased that this time was you were directly asking me a question about the law. And so the failure condition is, basically that you don't know. You would have to go there and find out, because you didn't go under that part of the city yesterday. But if you're successful, then you I guess like intuit from the layout or whatever that it probably does. And it would ride. So like it is still establishing a fact, even if you're just asking me a question.
So
So
failure
so
would just be like it
failure
doesn't.
failure. Yeah, I guess failure would mean that no, the sewers don't run under that part of the city. Um, and you could you could ask for help.
Help how?
Well, stats can help stats. So like Rokujai could help with his perception or whatever, right?
Right. There are several things here. I don't necessarily have to find out this answer myself through my knowledge, because I've met several people who might have knowledge.
Hmm.
Nope, that's the wrong one. That one. I could go back. I could find a bard. That one bard. Zebo. I could find the Lookshy Urchin. I mean, I could circle up someone else who can help me instead. Or do it for me or whatever, who might have a Lookshy Wives.
Oh, by the way, remove your fort tax because you've now had a night's rest.
Yay! 0.
It's actually quite cool because the tax idea with Essence now is very similar to moats, where you just choose to not flare your anima, and that's like equivalent to spending personal motes instead of peripheral motes.
Right.
I think it works quite well. Anyway, yeah, you could circle someone up who knows, or you could establish it with a wise and then just declare that they do and go there, and then they will. um, or uh, yeah, I mean, there's a number of different things you could do. Or you could just say fuck it and ask Aina to summon a demon to go and find out. Because demons can reveal information. And if they don't know, then they can go and find out. Like, they have ways. Similarly, spirits.
Alright,
Spirits
I
can be
will
used
put the idea forth.
to
Alright.
reveal information.
Okay. The reason I ask about the proximity to the building that you need to have is that although they are very much not a nice place, the sewers and ruins that Lookshy is built on top of run very deep into the city. I went from the Ratway to the Fourth Ring with almost no trouble, trying to find the Ikora, as it were. I don't know if they run under that part of the city, but it's a shot. I don't know if something that you could summon could help, but that might be a little bit more direct. And then you would definitely be a lot closer if that was the case.
You said you went under there yourself.
I didn't go under the sewers directly to Valkhawsen, but I went into the sewers from the Ratway to the Fourth Ring, and then to the docks.
He shrugs and says, "Do you remember the path you took?"
I marked it. I did mark it. I said specifically I need some chalk so I can mark the way.
No. I'm thinking more. Yeah, no, I think this will need a wise, honestly.
Dang it! But for me, does it have to be specifically for me?
Yeah, because you're the one that's like coming with the primary information that this sewer exists in the first place, and yeah, I think they can help you though. Now that you've brought it up.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So how would this go down? I guess like, yeah, they like Rokujai gets out a sheet of paper and asks you to like draw a map or like a rough map. And yeah, and I think Aina kind of ponders on the idea that Lukshai might be like Lukshai has a lot of symmetry in its architectural design, and so it's plausible that like if sewers run in a particular way on one side, they might run in a very similar way on the other side. So yeah, they're both going to help you with their perception. Which is 1 die from Rokujai and probably 2 dice from Aina.
Are you telling me that Rokujai has under 5 for his perception? What a fucking wimp. Alright. Okay. Lukshai. See, this is the type of fucking thing that I would need a coral for, but he's not here! Okay, 1 to open. Okay. Alright. So I get 3 modifiers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I only have 1 persona, so I'm not going to do that because I may actually die. But if it so happens, I will use fate.
See if you need 6s first before you spend it.
Yep. Base up 2, right?
Base up 2 and it'll auto double. Nice.
Yes!
So
I could roll that 6, but I don't want to.
Yeah, their help helped.
Hey, how come that dice didn't explode?
Because it's not naturally open-ended.
Is it not?
No, it's just a wise.
Alright, I'm sorry. We played Open Legend yesterday.
Ah, okay.
It was great. I woke up, I was trapped in a room full of cheese, so I peed on it.
Great.
You're fucking lucky that you get Donati, and Donati is fairly level-headed.
Yeah, so we have established, let me write this down, that the sewers run symmetrically.
Yes! Oh, that's right! Because if where we were was like on the opposite end of the city, then we could possibly get a map to where Valkhawsen could be.
Yeah.
Oh, shit! Yay! I just realized this. I'm a fool. I'm sorry.
Look shy sewers run symmetrically throughout the city. Specifically, they run under Valkhawsen. Cool. Yeah, so with that, like, you like, look at this map that you've drawn, and, like, yeah, there's some nodding of heads, and sort of say, like, yeah, it looks like that would be a good way in.
Just give like a quiet fist bump in the background. Oh, I'm so useful.
Um... I can't say I remember for certain what defense mechanisms they have in place, though. I know there are some.
Yeah, we can probably expect a fight or two.
Yeah, and he nods and says, "Well, it seems like a good a bet as any. Should we try?"
Did I look at Ada? Wait, who said that? Was it Ada or Rokujai?
That was Rokujai.
Okay, then I look at Ada.
Aina shrugs, and says, "Might as well."
So, here is a question. I'm going to assume that Rokujai is going to come with me, as he is the one doing the spirit finding. Are you coming?
Oh, you say to Aina.
Mm-hmm.
She says, she yawns actually, and like rubs one eye as you're saying that, and you suddenly notice that she actually looks quite tired, but yeah, she nods slowly and says, "Yes, I'll come with you and Uncle."
I kind of give her a second look, like, it doesn't. Does it have to be today? You look a little tired.
Sorry, I'm always tired. I don't sleep too well.
I just look at Rokujai, like, is there gonna be an explanation, or should I just drop it?
If you're specifically looking to Rokujai for an explanation, I guess he says, yeah, I guess just rather forebodingly, I guess he remarks, heptagram leaves its mark on all of us.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't go there. I think Bells just gave me a bunch of broken bones. But look at me. I'm fine. So,
So,
how do you want to do this?
perhaps the evening would be best. Fewer people about.
That's a good point. Depending on whether or not you want to actually enter the rackway, you can enter from the docks. They have been opening into the sewers as it dumps out into the water, I guess.
And like, now that you're talking about like properly doing this, he kind of has this grimace like crosses his face, and he says,
I just kind of like slap his back. I'm like, come on, rookie guy.
and
What's a little bit of dirt on our shoes?
he says,
No, I slap it with some force, right?
yeah, and he jerks and says, yes, I think doing it in the evening will be best. It'll give me a chance to buy some disposable clothing.
And hey, at least it's not another blood oath. We know how you love those.
And he just scowls at you.
Tonight just fucking laughs.
Aina doesn't get the joke.
I will absolutely explain it to Aina if Aina asks. I swear to God, I will do it. I will embarrass him in front of everybody, in front of God, in front of the Empress. I will do it in front of everybody. His mom, my mom, him.
Aina doesn't ask, but she doesn't react either. Like,
Okay, cool.
she's just like, yeah, she just doesn't get it.
Cool. Alright, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So, I think Rokujai basically says, like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy some non-fancy clothes and maybe a sword or something.
I kind of like put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, do you know how to use the sword?
He nods and says, not in the same way you do.
No, I'm just saying, the sewers are actually fairly wide, so if you want to go something a little bit more reach, like a spear, a crossbow, something like that, I mean, you can do that. You don't necessarily need to be close combat, you know?
Maybe a spear, then.
Okay. Because they were fairly wide. Like, me and Akora were, like, walking, they have bridges, they have fucking chasms, right, Will?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I look at Ada and say, do you use weaponry? Or are you strictly magic?
I haven't decided yet. She probably doesn't use combat weapon, like melee weapons. But she is an Exalt, so she has enough disposable skill points that she probably either let's say she has crossbow. Why not? Yeah, so she like nods and Yeah, maybe it's just lying on the table and it's been there like the whole time and you only just notice it. And yeah, she points to it and says, "That's mine." Hello?
What?
Oh. Did I...
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yes?
Did I cut out again?
All I heard was he probably doesn't use combat weapons. I'm like, oh well.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a long cutout. Yeah, I said she probably has crossbow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Neat. Yay! Alright, so we got like a tank, a DPS, and a range. We're golden. All we need is like a healer. Oh wait, I'm the healer. Right. Ah, this is gonna be great. This will be great. Yep. Okay. Well, I suppose I will also prepare and tell Aina to prepare. If she can, she might want to take a nap. Rest before. Listen, I will tell them that this sort of stuff takes stamina. Like, it will take actual stamina. So if you can catch a quick nap before we start, it will be for the best.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe Aina stays back at the hotel for the day. Yeah, Rokujai wants to go off and buy shit. Are you gonna go with him, or do you want to do something by yourself for a bit?
I'll go with him.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess you go through town and like you help him pick out like a short spear and maybe like a gambeson or something, like some light armor that isn't gonna like ruin him with penalties because he doesn't have armor training.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, so like yeah, just a gambeson and leggings, probably good enough. And yeah. Sorry, I'm just filling in these character sheets a little bit. Yeah, so is there anything else you want to do? Like, because there is like, you know, you are in a city. There is markets and shit. You can buy stuff if you want to. Anything you think might be helpful?
I'm trying to think. God, what do I need? What do I need? This is gonna be an adventure, and if I'm not prepared, we will die. Ah, damn it. You know, I almost feel like this was a little easier when I had gold to keep track of.
Really?
Yeah, because now I have to roll for shit, man!
Yeah, but...
Whereas before, it's like, well, I can't afford it.
Is it because you don't have a price list?
I don't have a price list.
Because I can give you, like, examples, right? Like, that's
I have
that's
one thing. I have a thing that I would want. Alright?
Yeah.
Okay. that I feel is very necessary and lacking.
Okay.
Do you remember the earrings that Fasca had?
Yes.
I would love some of those.
Okay.
The current tax is wild. I cry.
You have a lot of cash, though.
I know, but I don't want to spend it.
um. Let's see. Resources tests for artifacts. Yeah, it's. I think it's plausible that you could find a pair in this city, because it is a city with a magical academy.
Yeah, it's a big city. It's a big port city, so there's probably stuff coming from it all over the place. I can't believe my circles is filled in the challenging roles.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier too.
All
you
I
need
need is
you need one routine.
One routine, and that's it. I haven't got a single one because I haven't rolled any circles yet.
If you
routine
like
stuff is hard.
went and got that urchin girl again, that would probably be routine.
Shut up! Don't tell me things like this.
Yeah. Okay. So jewelry is ob 4. And so I'd probably say that magical jewelry is going to be ob 5, but you can use the haggling skill to change the ob of a resources test.
Okay. But I'm learning. I'm learning it. I'm not great.
Yeah, so you might end up like making it worse for yourself if you decide to haggle and fail. Yeah, I mean, like, magical items are meant to be difficult to acquire, so yeah, haggling is a versus test between you and the buyer. The winner lowers the obstacle by 1. Or rather, if the buyer wins, then they reduce the obstacle by 1.
Still 4. So much.
Um, uh, yeah, I think it's plausible that you can find one, though. So it's just up to you how you want to do it, or if you want to do it.
I just don't want to do it around Rokujo because then if I fail...
Well, and Rokujai could help you, I guess.
No! I'm a grown woman! Damn it!
Well, especially if you're like, if you convince him that like this is a useful thing for us to both have while we're here.
I just happen to be a broke bitch. Leave me alone.
The only way you can advance resources is with successful tests, so...
Oh no! Listen, I play fantasy games to get away from the fact that I have no money. You're over here pushing money in my face.
You started this game with resources 1. Look at you now. You've got
3.
B3. Yeah, isn't that great?
Talk to me.
You're making money. You're literally doing it. This is how you play the game.
I hate everything. But my current tax is at 1, so technically I'm not at B3. I'm at B2. But then if I have these earrings, I can just keep them.
Yeah.
And they'll be mine.
Yeah.
Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Until I lose them.
Yeah.
And then it's dead. I will attempt to convince Rokujai that these are necessary objects. And they were invaluable to us when we were, when did we use them?
You used them mostly in the forest, because Faska didn't really come with you down Pijup's stair.
Yeah. But I just don't remember if we, like, split up or anything. And used them that way.
Well, it's kind of funny, because the one time when you did need to use it, Faska was unconscious.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Also, the range wasn't that huge, so...
It was like a kilometer, which is... Or a mile, or whatever. Like, I'm not too fussed about keeping distances.
We tested them at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you determined it was like between a kilometer and a mile. Let's just say a mile for simplicity.
Alright, well, yeah, you know, they were invaluable to us when I was helping Rikista with her things in Spider's Crossing, and obviously nothing is more important than communication, and should we get split up by by really any means, then it would be of the utmost importance if at least we were still able to communicate each other. Also, jewelry isn't that, like it's not gonna grab a lot of attention.
Also, Rokujai could haggle for you.
That's a good point. But, like, you know, like, jewelry isn't all that eye-catching. Like, not supposed to be eye-catching, but it doesn't draw, like, suspicion, is I guess what I'm trying to say. It's like everyone has jewelry. And, like, you having an earring in your ear, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, well, they have an earring in their ear. Not like, oh, this is secretly a communication device.
You're saying this, I guess, as you're, like, wandering around through the streets and stuff, like, trying to convince him about this thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Although maybe not in that particular tone, because that was, like... That's too familiar with Rokujai. I know him, but I don't know him, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So he's like... Yeah, I think he's happy to like go with you to try and find these earrings, And maybe there's a market like actually not too far away from Valkhawsen where they sell like like magic trinkets and shit that they don't mind.
We also call it case in the joint.
Pardon?
We also call it case in the joint because if we're near Valkhawsen, then we can see, how many guards are there walking around here? People keeping their eyes up. Mm-hmm. Like, just how powerful do they think they are that it affects their security system?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, let's describe it then. So you're up on the fourth ring, and you've already like passed through part of town to get like a new like padded cloak and gambeson for Rokujai and a short spear. And then you're looking up at Valkhawsen, and it's kind of like on this long I guess peninsula. I don't know, sticky outy bit. Promenade, boulevard.
It's like something with ends in Tory. Hold on, let me see. I'll find it.
Promontorium. Anyway, this sticky
promontory, a point of highland that juts out onto a large body of water.
Yeah, so it's jutting out onto the rest of the city instead.
Aha! I did it.
I guess it's a bit like a buttress as well. Yeah, and it is buttressed. And so it's this like tall tower, and there are like buildings leading up to it. I guess it kind of looks like it's out of view from our current vision of it on this picture. But let's say that it's kind of like the walkway in Solitude in Skyrim.
Oh, okay.
Towards the Blue Palace. And maybe there is like a little like more something that looks more like the Blue Palace, like as the main entrance, and then this tower rises up behind it. And it looks pretty well defended. Like everything in Lookshy, it's covered in battlements, and like all of the windows are like very narrow, so that it could be defended with crossbows or bow and arrow.
Yeah, but like it's one thing to be a defendable position, but like how are the guards? How many guards? How many people are wandering the streets around this particular place keeping an eye out? Can I spot any undercover agents?
Alright, this is starting to sound more like a roll needs to be made. How about we have you make an observation test, and I'll just tell you an interesting fact for each success.
Yay!
So just ob 1. And then I'll tell you an interesting thing for each success.
Can I use my essence to open-end it, to have the wind carry whispers to me?
You can, yeah. You're also touching the earth, so you can use your call on for it.
Gasp.
If you want to, though. You might not have to. Call-ons let you reroll traitors, and you can only do it once per session, so you might not want to.
Okay. And then I'll just.
But yeah, you could use your essence. So make an ob 2 essence test.
Okay, cool.
Followed by an ob 2 tax test.
What's the tax do? Like rolling the tax?
If you your margin of failure gives you tax, which lowers the amount of fort that you roll on the next tax test, and if you overtax,
just pass out.
Yeah. No. Yes. If you overtax, then you pass out. Or rather, if your fort is 6, nice.
Yes.
If your tax hit 6, then you'd pass out. If your tax hit more than 6, then you'd start taking damage.
Hey!
Nice.
So do I add tax or no tax?
No tax. No, you passed.
Nice.
No tests marked either, though, because that's all routine. But yes, your essence is now open-ended.
Cool. I use the wind to carry things to me. Alright.
Yeah, cool.
And what was the for the observation thing?
Just one.
Oh, right. One thing every...
Yeah, it's a graduated test.
Please, 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 please. Damn it!
Wow.
Well, I got a routine off of that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, the thing that you notice then is... I mean, you could use your colon if you want.
No, I'd rather save it for something else.
Okay.
I'll probably...
Yeah, so the thing that you notice then is like, looking at... I think kind of I'll draw it on like on each of these like pointy bits, and on each tower, like all of these bits on it, right, where I'm marking red.
Right.
So like any bit that sticks up above the rest has standing on it what at first appears to be like just a statue of like an armored figure holding a staff.
Mm-hmm.
But you like looking at them, like it's not that they're moving, but it's like there's a crystal ball on each staff, and there's like a little bit of light coming off the crystal balls on each statue.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have a way to tell like what they would do, but you suspect that it's some kind of sentry.
Cool. Alright, I make note of all of them.
From what you can see, like right here, right now, there's I guess like 16 of them on the outside of the building.
Yeah, but I can only see one side, so I'm gonna assume...
Yeah, assuming it's symmetric, there's
40.
probably 16 of them in total on the outside of the building.
Don't they have ones on the sides?
What do you
I
mean?
can only see one side, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I meant.
the-
Like, so you can see like 8 from your position, and then assuming that it's symmetric, there's probably 16 in total.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you're in this like this street leading up to Valkhawsen, and there are these like buildings with stalls and such outside where they're selling things like trinkets and books. And actually this is where you see one of the snow globes, like the proper ones. You see like nice silks and furs, and then there's a few smaller stalls that have like little like innocuous magical trinkets, which are expensive, but they're not like powerful enough in any sense that like that Lookshy would care to keep tabs on them.
Right. Are you telling me that my snow globe is magical in some way?
No. That was before the table with the magical trinkets on.
Oh, right.
Like.
So essentially, they're selling like the novelty walkie-talkies.
Yeah, basically. Like when you really break it down, that's sort of what they are. They're just walkie-talkies, which isn't that like dangerous.
Yeah,
It's not like they're selling plasma torches or flamethrowers. Like.
Yeah, they keep the military stuff for the big boys.
Yeah.
The set phones or whatever.
And it's very
they're called.
basic as well. Since the first age, no new magical technology can even hope to get to the same level that the first age stuff was at.
I'll try it.
But yeah, so they're selling these things, and the shape is probably different from the ones that Faska had or has, but like you're talking to the lady who's selling them, and she kind of like explains them in a similar way to how Faska once had them explained to him. Yeah, and I guess you like lean over to Lookshy and say, lean over to Rokujai.
I lean over to the entire city of Lookshy. Tell me your secret.
And say like, oh, that's probably them.
Shrug, so I guess I just point them out to Rokujai. Hey,
Yeah.
look, they're there.
Okay. Yeah, so I think Rokujai is happy to haggle for you, but I think you'd have to like properly persuade him to help you with resources, because in his mind, his fund die is already doing that.
Right. So do I just roll?
Yeah, I mean it's so if you want Rokujai to help, you'll have to roleplay and then try and persuade him. If you're just happy to like let him bargain for them first and then make the test by yourself, then I can do that as well.
I don't want to like get on his bad side or nothing. This is an important man. I need him.
Yeah, I mean the other reason that he isn't just helping you no matter what is because like he isn't technically a relationship yet.
How rude.
Yeah. He likes you, but he's not like just gonna help you no matter what. Because if you do fail and get taxed, it will tax him as well.
Alright, let him haggle for me and I'll make the resources roll myself.
Okay.
I would let him haggle anyway, because like
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He
understands the language.
Yeah, he looks at the price and like tuts and says like, you know, this is too much for what this really is. Like, shouldn't you be selling this cheaper and so and so? And
it's like, I can't believe you're selling what is essentially a novelty trinket for this price.
Yeah. And so
this
he's
is the price meant to gouge tourists. How about the real price now?
Wait, did that work?
I don't know.
I'm gonna reload. Oh my god. Game, please. Load.
Game dead. You killed it. Oh no. I guess we can't play anymore. The game's dead.
Okay. Yeah, so he's gonna try and open end his haggling real quick.
Just roll your own dice.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Oh, are you rolling? No, I'm saying roll physical dice because the game.
Oh yeah, well it's working now, so it's fine. Cool.
Hey, did it!
Okay. Yeah, so his haggling's open-ended now. And, yeah, he's gonna try and haggle with this woman.
Roll big, roll big, roll big.
Do you want to help him?
I'm learning it though. I didn't think I could help with the learning.
Stats can help skills. Skills can't help stats.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
you could help with your will.
With my sure.
So what do you say to like help?
I mean, I already said something. This is like the prices for tourists.
Oh yeah.
It's the real price.
All right.
This is just price gouging.
Yeah. I think our will is only 3. Ooh, okay. It's a lot of 2s.
I don't suppose because I'm connected to the roll. Can I use my colon for this one, or can I not?
You don't have a colon for will or haggling. Plus, it's him rolling.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? He probably has like some fate, so why not?
He has some undeterminable amount of fate. Whatever.
Well, rip. Okay, so the
wow! First we insult the bard, then we insult this lady.
Yeah.
We're on a roll.
So the bargain stands. Like she's not like budging. So the resources the test doesn't get reduced in obstacle. And he shrugs at you and says, "It's always worth a try." And then like turns to just like let you make the purchase if you want to. So it'll be ob 5, yeah. And the way that using your fund die works is that if you choose to use it, it'll get taxed first, and then it won't be recoverable until the beginning of the next month, as per your contract. So it's like a cash die with infinite use until it gets taxed, or until the contract lets up.
I have 4 cash dice, which brings me to 7.
Now, let's think.
Well, technically, I only have 3 cash dice, because one of them is the ring that I got from the guys upstairs, and I'm not giving that up. That's the one thing that I have.
It's up to you. Yeah, I mean, or you can choose not to test as well. The failure condition, I think, in this instance, is not that you can't buy it because it's right in front of you.
I get taxed.
It's that you get taxed, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, you get taxed either way if you fail, but like, because there's kind of 2 ways that resources works. Where the one way is you just make a kind of nebulous statement about buying a thing, and in that case, the failure condition can be you just don't find it. But if you've like set up a position where, like now, where you are literally it's in front of you and you could buy it, then, yeah.
So now that it's in front of me, I can buy it, but I'll just get taxed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I think the way that this is slightly bending the default rules, but I think the way that the default rules are written is like too harsh on resources. Where like the default...
Holy shit!
Huh?
I'm sorry. I just got a text message. My coworker had her baby.
Okay. Do you know this person?
Yes, I know this
Okay,
person. I've
okay.
worked with him for over a year.
Okay, it's not just some random person texting you.
No. The person I know and care about. She
Right.
just had her first baby.
Cool.
Oh my god, she's so
Oh, wait, sorry. I've just realised it should have been a versus haggling test, so I'll roll for the other lady as well.
got a full head of hair.
Okay. So tie goes to the defender, so yeah, it still stands.
Alright, okay. I will toss 3 cash into my resource pool. And it still only brings me up to like 5. It's untaxed. Right, so it'd be like a total 5 dice I would be rolling.
Uh,
So I'm taxed right now.
you're taxed 1 right
one.
now. If you chuck in 3 cash dice, then yeah, you'll get taxed by the margin of failure, which means you could get overtaxed. Which puts you in debt.
Just not buying these stupid earrings. Fine. Fuck it, whatever. I'm not buying the fucking earrings!
Okay.
I roll my eyes at money and I walk away. She can get bent. I don't give a fuck.
Rokujai tries to kind of console you and says, I doubt we'll get separated anyway.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. I just laugh and say nothing. Rokujai, what you don't understand is that now that you've said it, we will absolutely get separated someday.
Okay.
We were safe until the one moment it came out of your mouth.
So let's jump ahead then to...
All that fucking work just to not roll. God, I hate myself.
Well, I mean, you know that there's one here now. You can come back, I guess, later. Plus, you managed to sort of learn a thing about Valkhawsen, right?
Yes, I did. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What's ancestral unity?
That is... Let's see. Oh, I did add that to your sheet. Okay. It doesn't mean anything unless you start learning spirit binding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's basically... Through spirit binding, you can eventually reach a point where... like you're so in touch with the natural world that you just start like dematerializing and ascending and shit.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What?
And if
Where did this come from?
This is the spirit binding rules. And if like I've called it ancestral unity, and I'm kind of like rephrasing it in terms of like the Immaculate Order knows about this and approves of it, and like this is the Immaculate Order's like proxy for achieving spiritual enlightenment and like transcending. What it really is, though, is like once your spirit marks and other like touched aspects of the spirit world reach to a certain point, if it, i.e., if your ancestral unity ever hits 10, then you die.
What happened to Ascension?
Well, it's like you become one with the world, but you become effectively unplayable.
So don't learn Spirit Binding.
Well, you can, but like, also it's not like, it's quite tame as what they called, emotional attributes. As emotional attributes go, Ancestral Unity is quite tame because it doesn't do anything. It's completely passive. It's just a kind of tracker for what your total spirit marks are, and it can only kill you if they reach above your will. So, like, unless you have a combined number of domain bindings and spirit marks and other shit that total equal to or above your will, then you never have to worry about it. But then once you do get Ancestral Unity properly, then it will start passively advancing whenever you use spirit binding.
So, like, literally nothing that I ever have to worry about because I don't fucking use Spirit Binding.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool.
You can get rid of it if you want. I must have added it to the wrong character sheet.
Lol.
Yeah, so why don't we take a break, and then when we come back, we'll jump ahead to the sewers.
Okay.
And we can see what happens in Valkhawsen.
Alright.
I'm back.
Sup?
Sup. So, it's now, I think, the evening.
Yay!
And you guys have got some stuff. And you're setting out on an adventure.
Spying.
A spying adventure, yes. And I think that I kind of want to get a scene of you and Aina, like, having a chat, because you have a little bit of a belief written about her. So yeah, why don't we have that? Like, whilst you're walking, like, we cut to, or we have like a moment or two of montage of you, like, leading them back to the docks and then into the, like, tunnel mouth that you came out of with Ikura, sorry. And then, like, back inside, and then, like, maybe we're back at the point where Ikura first got shot with the bow, and, like, we see the bloodstains on the floor.
Oh, yeah. That hasn't been cleaned up.
No.
So there's probably a lot of blood, actually.
Yeah, there's probably, like, you follow the trail of blood drips all the way back to that point.
Cool.
And yeah, maybe like, yeah, we cut to that then, and Aina's just, like, looking down at this, like, smearing of like blood and yeah, because there's probably just like a pool of blood that initially came out when she collapsed, and then, like, it probably got quite smeared around on the floor as you were, like, trying to lift her onto the sword to carry her out and stuff, and yeah,
Yep.
it was messy for sure. Yeah, and so she's just looking at this blood on the floor like, huh.
I don't mention it.
But yeah, so you basically need to walk back the way you came, like because you were on like your hotel is on this side of the city, so you went all the way this way, and then down and inside the tunnels, and now you're having to head all the way back.
Yes.
So there's probably quite a long walk, like at least an hour or so if you don't get lost, or assuming you don't get lost. So yeah, like why don't you strike up a conversation?
Just strike up a random conversation. Just do it.
Do it.
Perform for
Come
me,
on.
monkeys. Listen, that blood is very deceptive. She lived, by the way. She's still alive.
Yes, I heard. Though I didn't hear the full story. This looks quite excessive.
I was not responsible for that bit. I saved her life. That was a Koro. I think he shot her somewhere in the vicinity of her spine.
She gulps, like quite visibly.
But hey, I mean, if you look on the bright side, you can lose this much blood and live.
Some can, I'm sure. I'm not sure I would be able to lose that much.
Well, you're a little bit on the smaller side. Ikora was a fairly tall lady. He had more. The awkward silence stretches into the Wait, hold on. Okay, so we're in, all three of us are in where this pool of blood was, right?
Yeah, like this is where your trail back to this point stops, effectively.
Okay, cool. Please tell me that Rokujai is dressed like in ninja black gear.
No, not quite that.
Damn it!
Not
so he's
like,
not in like, like
I
the
think
hood
he's,
over his face. And...
Well, no. I think he's wearing let's think. Yeah, so he's wearing a padded jack and padded leggings.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, he's got like a dark blue, which are brown, and then he's got a dark blue hooded cloak that he's wearing, and he's like using the spear a bit like a walking stick.
Right.
And Aina is wearing just like brown and black leathers.
Cool.
And a padded hood. And she's carrying her crossbow.
Okay, cool. Yeehaw.
Sorry, I was just filling in her armor. What was the last thing you said to her? I think you kind of trailed off.
Yeah, there was just like this awkward silence.
Mm.
Where it's just like, yeah, she had more blood than you do.
Yeah, so she just looks up from the blood stains slowly, and then says, like, looks around, and I guess at least one of you has a lamp as well or something.
I have indeed a lantern, I believe, in my inventory.
Cool. Yeah. So she looks through the darkness, like, and so you're up on top on like the top layer of this like old, um, like multi-tiered room with like. Honestly, in terms of its layout, it's kind of like an empty multi-story car park, except there's a giant like waterway running through the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the waterway is all dried up. And yeah, she looks like left and right, and then says, "So where to?"
Alright. Do I have an approximate idea of where I'm going?
Yeah, probably. And you drew a map earlier, or a rough map, I guess, which can help. And as we said before, you did leave some chalk markings before you started chasing, so you could try and get all the way back there if you wanted.
I don't think we need to go all the way back there. We just kind of need to get to, I think what we need to do is we just need to get back to, like, the main ones. Because those might be easiest to move around in.
Hmm. Like the longer tunnels.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So why don't we say you make your way down then to that like big iron door
Mm-hmm.
that got slammed on you before.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good starting point, and then we can start looking into switching direction and heading, I guess, along what might be where the wall is.
Mm. Oh, by the way, like incidentally, uh, I I rechecked or I reread the range and cover rules between sessions, and sorry, I've only just remembered this now that we're back in this exact location. Um, I made two mistakes in that range and cover. The first one was when they first got out of cover, or sorry, out of range, like when they did slam the door and get away, and they were like technically they'd moved out of range.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, that should have finished the range and cover, and that they got their intent and got away. But I didn't realize that should have been the case, so we carried on. And then the second thing is, yeah, you guys shouldn't have, like, even though you got a stupid amount of like over successes, you shouldn't have technically been able to take those extra shots. And so all of what happened at the end of last session might not have happened if I'd played the game properly.
I'm not going to lie, I'm not complaining. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, no, I just thought I'd mention it. Like, I'm not going to retcon, but it was just like, I was reading the book again and I was like, oh, I messed this up real bad.
You fool. What have you done?
Yeah, but that's the nature of this game, honestly.
Well.
It was our first range and cover as well, so whatever. Yeah, so I don't think we need to, like, you know, properly go through, like, okay, there's a corridor and there's a left turn and a right turn. Which way would you like to go? There's no need for that. So let's just call it a test. We have established that the sewers are underneath Valkhawsen. Now you just need to get there. And so... yeah, let's say it's ob. I think it's going to be an ob 3 street fly test. But I'll give you a bonus die for... Or wait, did that previous wise get over success? Yes, it did. So the previous look show wise got a success above the obstacle, so I'll give you a bonus die for that.
Yay!
And if you'll let her, I think... I think Rokujai is just going to follow along kind of blindly. But Aina, if you'll let her, she will, scout with you, and she's going to help with her perception, I think.
Oh my god, she's being productive.
If you'll let her.
Yes, I will let her.
Yeah, so I think what she's doing is at every corner before you turn, she's looking down the corridor and pointing her crossbow and checking if anybody else is around and stuff. Is there anything else you want to fork?
Nope. I don't know what else I could fork besides maybe well, no, I couldn't do tracking because none of us have been through this way. This is new territory.
Do you have inconspicuous?
I do.
You can fork that.
Gasp. All right, how many things am I forking?
Bonus die for previous link test.
Right.
And
One for inconspicuous.
one for
the help.
And oh no, okay, stats can't help. Yeah, I get the order wrong. Skills can help skills and stats. Stats can help stats. Stats cannot help skills. Okay. In that case, she's going to help with... she probably doesn't have observation, actually. Yeah, I guess she can't help then.
Dang it.
I'm gonna write that down because I always forget it.
So only 2 dice.
Yeah, unless you're forking anything else.
Okay. I don't think so, not unless I can force something like stealthy.
I'd say you can fork stealthy or inconspicuous, but not both.
Okay.
And failure here is that it's, first of all, that it takes longer than you expected to get there, but I don't think time is too sensitive here. More importantly, I think you end up in a part of the sewers that are more heavily protected than another part, specifically below Valkhawsen.
Heck.
Like they are aware that the sewers are an entrance or a weakness or something.
We don't necessarily need to break into the actual building. We're like finding information.
Yeah, no. I don't mean
well,
like there's active guards down here, but like
there could be other things.
Yeah, I'll say like if you fail, then you set up a trap or something.
Okay.
Or activate a sentry or whatever.
Keep me on Earth. And then you said the base up was 3?
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa,
shit!
nice. Okay.
I'm baller!
So I guess those 2 extra successes can just go towards doing it quickly. So you get there, like, basically at about the same speed that you crossed the street level at.
Holy shit. Hacker voice, we're in.
Cool, okay. So, yeah, you make it to the rough vicinity of Valkhawsen in the sewers. And so far, you have avoided detection.
Yeah. Okay. So, before we, like, go super deep, into this, I do kind of want to have, like, a small conversation with Aina as we are walking.
Yeah, so like during this the period of this roll, like it still takes
Yeah.
maybe half an hour to walk there. So there's certainly an opportunity to talk to Aina.
Just kind of want to ask her, being a demonologist and all that, how much she knows about demon deals?
What do you say exactly? Because I'm curious to know how you phrase it.
So, how's the weather? No, I'm kidding. I don't think I ever would have pegged you as a demonologist. Or if I said that you studied sorcery of some kind, but demons. It's a little hefty.
I suppose sorcery is a bit of a oh shit, what's the word? No. Misnomer, that's it. Yeah, she says, saying that Heptagram is a Academy of Sorcery can be a bit of a misnomer. It often gives people the impression that the only thing one learns there is sorcery. That invariably isn't the case. Demonology was just what I was interested in. Other students preferred spellcasting. Others preferred ancient lore and so on.
I just meant, you know what? Never mind. Never mind what I meant. So, I mean, like, what does it constitute of? I mean, I've met a couple people who summon demons, but, well, let's just say I didn't meet them in the best physical condition, or alive.
Yes, it's dangerous business. Not something I do lightly.
I should hope.
It mostly consists of a lot of book reading, learning the names of various demons and what they do and what tasks they can be put to. A full half year of the semester is devoted to just learning to correctly draw our summoning circles. And yeah, they teach us that drawing the circles properly is far more important than summoning the demon properly, because if the circle isn't right, things can go awry. It is a foolish summoner who summons without a circle.
Can you summon without a circle? Don't they just immediately, try to kill you?
She nods. You can, yes. And they do, usually. Why the interest?
Oh, how much do you know about what the events that brought us here into the first place?
I know that it involved a demon. A blood ape,
Yes.
as you call them.
If the circle is for protection, how is the blade able to leave the circle and not attack its assailant or the assassin and then attack everyone else in Haven?
Say again.
So, uh, I guess this is more like for you, Will, but like, if the demon is for protection, or the circle is for protection from the demon, and the demon doesn't leave the circle, I guess, I don't know, or they're not supposed to, then like, how did the blood ape leave the summoning circle and not kill the assassin and go on to kill everyone else in Haven?
She she shakes her head and says, there are different kinds of circles you can draw. And it's possible that, well, I don't know, I wasn't there, but it's possible that the circle was drawn correctly and that simply the summoner's bargain with that blood ape was to let them loose. But not kill him.
Even if the demon is, I would say, as I mean, I wouldn't call blood apes very intelligent.
Usually, no. Yes, you're right.
So even if there's something as brutish as a blood ape with not much critical thinking skills, their deals are still binding?
Yes, the nature of the pact means that they must do what you agree with them to do.
Cool, cool. They don't like ever throw any sort of, I don't know, like loopholes or anything, or, you know, oh, you didn't say this word correctly, so now I'm free to hunt you down and, I don't know, take your skin or something, right?
Different spirits have different interpretations of the pact, but it is magically binding. There is always a price, and usually the spirit will do everything in its power to cleave the exact letter of the agreement so long as the price is paid.
Cool. So, if I was to just hypothetically describe a demon to you, could you tell me what it was?
I could try.
I will describe to her the purple skinned lady.
Mm. She says, do you have a name?
Hold the fuck up. Was her name Draksha or something? Or something else?
I think I did add her name to the character list. Yeah, Draksha.
Okay, cool. I don't know if I spelled it right or wrong, but I have here Draksha, question mark, question mark, question mark. Email this.
Yeah, okay. So she's gonna make a demonology roll, and I guess you can help with Demon's Wives.
Yay!
Um,
Draksha Fia was something, the lavender lady.
yeah. Uh, so I guess it's gonna be ob 3. Um, yeah, I guess ob 3. She's a first circle demon, so yeah, okay. So what's your demon wise skill at?
That's a good question. 3.
Okay, not 5. Yeah. Is there anything else? Oh, she can fork summoning. Technically, it is a listed fork, apparently. Okay. 3. Damn. Okay. Yeah, so she, like, whilst you're walking through the corridor, she's, like, listening to you describe her, and then goes quiet for a bit once you're done describing her, and then shakes her head and says, I'm sorry. Without my books with me down here, I'm afraid I can't remember off the top of my head. What you've described does sound familiar, though. Mark a difficult demon-wise test, by the way. For
Cool,
helping.
I just need 2 more routine.
Yeah, and she says, if you have her name, though... And she, like, stops walking for a second, gives you, like, a sidelong look, and says, we could always try summoning her.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's fine.
How do you know
Cool.
of this person, anyway?
So, I suppose you were there with me at Rokujai's party.
Yes, yeah.
You've heard my tales, and I suppose this is up to you, whether or not you choose to believe me. Doesn't matter to me either way. You ever heard of people disappearing during calibration?
She nods.
Okay, so what if I told you that when people disappear, they go to Malveus?
I have heard that, yes.
Okay. I will tell you this, being exalted does not save you from being taken.
She, like, nods slowly and is, like, beginning to catch on to what you're insinuating.
It sucks. A lot. And by a lot, I cannot begin to describe to you the amount of suck that happened during those 5 days.
You're sounding like you're talking from experience.
Okay, let me put it in clearer terms. I walked through a door, and I came out in something called the Endless Desert, the final bars of the prison surrounding Malveus. It was horrifying.
And I think at this point, like, Rokujai stops and looks at you and says, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, great. Story time. I love stories. I'll fucking tell him. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll just tell him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, his initial thing is like, how the fuck are you even still alive? And I guess you tell the story.
Yeah, I tell the story. I tell him that I was, gonna be like hanging out with Rikista. Cause I was like, yeah, I mean, if anything happens, I'll take care of it for you. And then I walked through a fucking door and I wasn't there anymore. Cause God put me there.
Uh-huh.
Will. And I walked for 5 days in a stupid desert after being told to do so by some fucking purple chick. Who took half my hair!
Yep. So how, like, do you tell them, like, everything, or?
I mean, yeah, fuck it, I'll tell him. I'll tell him about Queen Miriam. Fuck it.
Okay.
I just end with, and I have to go back now because I made a promise. So.
I think, like, when you tell her about the pact, or the first deal that you made with the Lavender Lady, I think Aina sort of says, like, well, I don't know why she'd demand your hair as a physical price, but it sounds to me like you've no worry about retribution on that end of things.
Great.
Whatever
Cool.
deal you made with her has been made, and I don't think it's going to haunt you.
Cool. Alright, because I just want to put that out there, that she didn't originally just want my hair. She was also aiming for, like, other beautiful things, like my eyes or my skin.
I think it's perhaps wise if we, when we get the chance, do look that up properly, though. As I said, the type of demon that you've described is not immediately familiar to me.
Okay.
So I can't give you sound advice, honestly. As for this Queen Maria, I've never heard of such a queen myself, but I'm not from the south.
Mostly, my worry
it's
is that she's actually been stuck there for 100 years. I take her out and she just immediately withers to dust.
No, I don't think that's likely. Time passes strangely in Malphaeus, but still roughly on the same scale as creation. Or
Okay.
so I've been told.
I can sort of confirm.
It's difficult to say. It's possible that you made another pact with a demon without knowing it. It's also possible that, yes, she really is just lost in that desert like you were.
Well, I suppose if you have any mystical artifacts that can bring me magically back to Malphaeus at some point, I would greatly appreciate them.
I don't have anything like that, I'm afraid. Though I've heard that there do exist some keys that can open any door to the demon city.
The Jade Lion told me that too. I don't know where to start looking for them.
I'm sure there's a way to find such objects.
Yep. I hope maybe now we can understand a little bit of my reluctance to have anything to do with demons.
Yes, I think that's understandable.
On the bright side, I can now bring you knowledge that if you ever get stuck in Malphaeus, just find a doorway. Which I suppose is useful information.
Okay. Yeah, so she says, I had already known that.
Now, but did you know it because a book told you, or did you know it because, oh, I don't know, someone literally that you know got taken there and tried it out herself?
Well, yes, now I know that it works for sure, but what I mean is that I perhaps know a little more than you do in that it doesn't always work.
Oh god, are you joking?
Or at least, from what I've read, it gets harder every time you try to leave.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yep. Alright, so... Right, I'm gonna put that on the back burner.
And then the other thing she says is, and the reason why so many go missing and never return, even if they find a way to the demon city, is that there are many demons there who would bind humans to their services, and once bound to a demon, they are bound to the same strictures that keep them there. They too become like demons and cannot leave. Not by will, at least.
Alright, well, I mean, that's sort of good news for me, because if Queen Maria had been a demon, then I wouldn't have been able to leave.
She shrugs. It probably also depends on the demon.
Wow. Alright, well, this has been a wonderful conversation. Very light and fulfilling. Emotionally.
Aina, like you notice, is quite, like, humorless. For the most part. Yeah.
I have never been so emotionally comforted by a conversation. But no, seriously, thank you for this conversation. Oh man. I'm gonna put that on the back burner, because if I have to think more about having to go back, I may actually just explode. Do you know what I did the day after calibration? I drank. I don't drink, but I drank.
I think most people drink after calibration.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I think at about that time, you get to, like...
I just look at Rokujai, and I'm just like, aren't you so glad you hired me? I've lived through everything.
He smiles from under his hood and says,
I thought you said he didn't have a hood.
Yeah, no, I said he has a hooded cloak.
Okay.
He doesn't have a ninja mask.
Damn it.
Yeah, and he says, did you think I brought you here with no reason?
No, that is incredibly uplifting. Thank you.
Yeah, he says, I've known, I think, since I first met you, that you have a great talent for certain things.
Yeah, like getting in and out of trouble.
Your stories and what's the word? Is it escapade or escapade?
I think it's escapade?
Escapade, yeah. He says, your stories and escapades only reinforce my confidence in you.
Oh. Rokujai. You're gonna make me blush.
I'd like to see that.
I do the whole, like, wave my hand at him, like, stop.
Your iron will only works when you don't want to be seduced.
Stop this! No! She can't be seduced, damn it!
Okay, yeah, so we're at Valkhawsen. And yeah, I think like we see you like turn down corridors, and like there's like points where it's rising up and you get to like steps. And there's lots of different ways into the lower kind of part of this building. Like from a kind of dissected side-on view, you're maybe kind of here-ish, or maybe around here, like,
Right.
and yeah, there's points where like you look up and see like not statue sentry type things, but you see sconces on the walls that have similar looking like bulbs in them, and you like make the wise choice to not turn down the corridors that have those, which is what your street fly success does, until you find one where I think the like one of the bulbs is broken, like it's just not on, like it's not giving off any light, and the other one is like there's one like on each side of the corridor, and the other one is like flickering, so it's like the power isn't quite reaching this part of the building properly, and this seems like a good a place as any to pass through.
Okay.
So yeah, what's your like? And I think Rokujai says like he didn't notice these things when you were outside the building earlier, but now that you're like pointing them out to him, or like actively avoiding them, he notices them and says, "Ah, yes, I'd forgotten about those. They're..." Let's just say Valkhawsen can be quite strict, and they're not just for keeping people out.
What is it about schools and attempting to imprison their children in certain locations?
Just the way of the world, it seems. Knowledge is a valuable commodity these days.
I suppose it's true. Alright, so I guess we will attempt to sneak down this corridor and make our entrance into the or the sewer holes of Volkswagen, the school.
Volkswagen. Cool, yeah.
Alright.
Let me just check how close Rokujai has to be to his domain to do his thing.
What's his domain?
It's for spirit binding.
Oh, like how close he has to be to the place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he can do a portion or the whole thing, but it's harder to do the whole thing. Yeah, the hallways in a castle. Okay. So yeah, I think you guys need to get to the... Like, yeah, you need to get inside some way. Excuse me. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's think. Yeah, so let's just have like you sneaking past this thing, this little globe thing, and because it's flickering, we'll just do like Die of Fate as to whether it hits anyone.
I mean, like, can I use my Zone of Silence dance to maybe help?
No, I think it's like it's a motion detector and it just zaps you.
Heck. Zaps you. Okay.
Yeah, so let's just do like three dice of fate and um on a 3 or below it'll zap you. But then if it zaps anyone, like after a zap, it will like power down. So it's not like it'll only zap one person if it zaps anybody. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so you first.
Cool. It zaps me. I know it.
It zaps you.
Yep.
Okay. Well, at least it doesn't zap the other two.
That's true. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. No. You come back here. Why are you wet? What is this? What did you step in? You motherfucker. Have you spilled something?
Everything
What have
alright?
you done? I'm sorry. My cat, small cat, has come to me, and his like entire left side is just damp.
Huh.
And I'm like, what the fuck have you been up to? Alright, never mind, continue. I can't find what he's done, so hopefully maybe he just, licked himself really hard or something, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so let's have you make an OB3 speed test
What's that do?
to avoid the zap.
Okay.
And cause you're armored, you're at -1 die.
Yay. I don't think I can make anything, or I don't think can anything help me or not?
No, this is all you.
Like anything that I have.
It makes sense that you could have, because there's no time constraint here, so you could open-end your speed before you move past it, I guess.
Cool. Can I use the call-on trait fleet of foot? Some sort
It's
of
for racing or positioning. Yeah, so that's for maneuvers in range and cover or positioning in fight. It's it's about getting into an optimum position to strike something. Or it's for chasing.
Alright, so I can open-end my speed?
Yeah, if you want to do another Ob2 Essence and Fort test.
Okay. I'll do that. I did it.
Nice. And Fort. Nice.
Yes!
Okay. Yeah, okay. So your speed's open-ended now. And so just make an OB 3 test with a -1 modifier. And margin of failure will... Yeah, okay. So mark a difficult test. So you get hit, and margin of failure will just determine extra damage.
Cool.
So I think this is gonna be... So I'm treating this as basically this, or kind of the same as a fire breath spell, except it's like zappy. It's too far. Okay. Yeah, so you're 2 successes below, which means it'll either do... Or, no, wait, 2 successes below. So it gets +1 to the die of fate for the damage. And it's an even spread. So, die of fate. Oof. Okay. So you can try to defend against this, of course, with your armor. You can choose where it's going to hit you. And it's going to be an OB 3 armor test to avoid a B9 of damage.
Ow.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, my torso, I guess.
Or your left arm and left leg are at the same value.
That's true. Let's do the left arm then.
Okay. So an OB 3 on 4 dice. Just do the normal dice.
Okay.
There's no forks or anything for armor.
Oh, I can't.
You've got a 6. You can spend fate on armor. Yeah, it doesn't go into anything, but you can do it.
Yeah, it just dies.
Yeah, into the wind.
Six.
There's a 1 there though, so your armor will get damaged, regardless.
Yeah.
Ah,
damn it!
Damn. Okay, so you take a B9, and your arm armor goes down to 3 dice. Jesus Christ. You have so much health, it's unbelievable.
Yeehaw!
Like, I don't know if you're still watching Adam Cobell's Burning Wheel game.
Nope.
But Andrew's latest character is like this old witch lady called Agatha, and her mortal wound is a B9.
Oh.
And
that is unfortunate.
She took a similar hit at the end of like 2 sessions ago, and was like, "Well, Adam, I'm dead."
Did she die for real?
No, she had Persona to spend on Will to Live, but it was just kind of like, wow, that was abrupt. But for you, that's just a light wound. Jeez.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, it goes like, and like zaps your arm, but then powers down. And like there's a moment of caution from Aina and Rokujai as they like watch this happen to you, but then once they see it's like powered down, they rush past it, and like I think Rokujai goes to your side and he's like, I don't know why I was about to say by the divines, but that's so dumb. Yeah, I guess he just says,
it's the wrong fucking game.
By the gods. Are you alright?
Oh, yeah. Mostly the stings. I kind of like shake out the electricity.
Like a little bolt zaps next to his foot and he like takes a step back. Uh, that that looked like it would kill a lesser man.
I mean, that's why they're lesser men and not me. um,
You sure you're all right?
that's what's. Yeah, I'll be fine, but that's what was keeping you guys from leaving?
It's a lot more effective against unarmored children, I assure you.
No. That's horrifying. You just said it would kill a lesser man and they use it against children. What are you supposed to do? Magic it away?
Well, they turn them off when you have to leave, but Lookshy are very defensive of their secrets.
Apparently. I'm surprised they let you go back to the realm.
Well, it's lucky that we haven't been at war with Lookshy for some time, but if we were, then I'm sure they wouldn't.
Oh man. Well, let's keep going, I suppose.
Indeed. Yeah, so you're now, like, properly in Valkhawsen, and yeah, I think you basically come up into a kind of, like, basement, like, wine cellar thing, or like foods, not just wine, but like foodstuffs, and yeah, like you're now properly in the castle or the fortress school, and there's a like yeah, there's probably enough space in this area where, like, if you wanted to, you could now perform the ritual, to summon up the spirit of the castle to reveal information. But spirit binding takes time, or at least making summoning circles takes time. The actual spirit binding is usually no problem. So what, like, I think, yeah, Aina and, like, if you're okay with them doing this here, Aina and Rokuja are gonna start making a summoning circle.
Well, now hold the phone. I want to get to somewhere private, closed off, that we can, like, maybe blockade, you know?
Oh, okay.
Somewhere. I want to find somewhere that's a defensible position and not, out in the middle of these fucking sewers where if someone checks what the fuck that thing's at, they'll just find us. Here you go, guys. Trespassers.
Yeah, you're in a cellar, not the sewers anymore.
What?
Okay, so you want to try and find an actual room instead of just out in the open in this basement.
Yes.
Okay, how do you want to do that?
Okay, so if we are in a cellar, that means connected, there must be storage rooms. Or even just, like, the items that they are storing in the cellar might make for, you know, something that we can maybe rearrange or move around, or, you know, something that we can maybe keep hidden.
I'll say that it's basically, like, midnight now. And so... or actually, you did pretty well on your street fly, so let's say it's 11 o'clock instead. Or no, it'd be 12 o'clock. Because there's 25 hours in a creation day. It's 12 o'clock, but it's not midnight.
Right.
Yeah, and so cercination takes time. making a summoning circle takes time. So there is now at this point like a bit of a time factor involved. Because obviously come kind of like 6 a.m. people are going to come and like start getting food for the kitchen and stuff. Yeah, so I guess you can move to a slightly more hidden space, and I guess it makes sense for you to then do something like use observation to just keep watch whilst they do their thing.
Right.
I
mean, do they have to speak while they do this, or do they just have to draw while they do this?
So doing the yeah, no, they don't really need to talk per se.
Or like chant or whatever.
No. The spirit binding, like you can spirit bind without a summoning circle as well. It's just easier if you do a summon circle or a fortress circle or anything like that. In fact, I need to decide what kind of circle they draw. Prison circle. Yeah, okay, so I think they're gonna do a fortress circle to stop the spirit from getting retribution on them after the test, which is going to take $6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours.
Holy God.
Yeah, because they need to summon a Strength 3 spirit to reveal information, and the Fortress Circle takes time equals to twice the obstacle, or twice the strength in time. Yeah, okay. And so you can help spirit binding with astrology if you want to, by the way.
But then if the first one is a 1, then don't I have a chance to get even a second failure on that?
Yeah, if the thing about astrology is it can go awry if you're not careful, or if you're unlucky, rather. But it is a thing you can do if you want to. So with this observation, so yeah, they're going to spend 6 hours drawing a circle. And so I think by the time they're done with that, actually time is going to be quite constrained, because there's basically going to be like a half-hour gap before potentially something shows up and you get caught and you have to run or whatever. So yeah, so you can You could also help them draw the circle if you have calligraphy.
I do have calligraphy,
Okay.
but it's only a B2.
That's fine, it still helps. So basically... Yeah, I mean, it's up to you, but I think it makes more sense if you help them draw the circle with calligraphy, and then let them do the summoning on their own, and then whilst they're doing the summoning, you use observation to like keep a lookout, because that's once the circle is drawn, that's when time is gonna be properly constrained.
Okay. Alright.
Okay.
Are you gonna roll secretly so we don't know if the circle is good or not?
No, I think... Wait, where is it? Oh, did I not add it? Cersonation. Yeah, he does have it, okay. Maybe I'm just missing it on the list. Okay. Cersonation. B3. Yeah, so I think Aina's going to make the test. Rokujo's going to help with his cersonation, and you can help with your calligraphy. And it's an OB3 test. And basically failure on the prison circle, or sorry, the fortress circle, is that the spirit, like, will be able to enact retribution. Oh no, wait, interesting. Okay, so the obstacle is blah blah blah. The fortress will avert retribution from a spirit of that strength or lower. If the summoner is in a fortress when retribution comes, the spirit will deflect and forget about it for now. The summoner may exit the domain safely. If he tarries or returns, retribution is back on. Yeah, okay, so you're building this fortress circle to stand in whilst the actual spirit binding happens, and then that will avoid any initial retribution, and then you just leave. And as long as you never come back to Valkhawsen, you'll never have to suffer retribution.
Cool. I'm sorry. So, like, anytime you summon a spirit, they automatically want retribution on you, or is it just because?
Regardless of success or failure with spirit binding, they will try and enact revenge after you summon them.
Cool.
These are nameless spirits, though. The term spirit is used a lot, but they're more like aspects or lesser gods. Like, they're not elementals, they're not ghosts. It's like they don't have essence. They're just like a part of the world.
Right.
Like they're
not named spirits.
Yeah, they're not named. They can't speak. They're the spirits that like have to watch over individual plants and like, yeah, they're sometimes called least gods.
Okay.
In the context of creation. Yeah. So there's a least god for basically every object in existence. And this is what you're controlling when you use spirit binding. It's not the same as like summoning elementals. So, yes, if you're helping with calligraphy, what is your calligraphy?
2.
Okay, so mark a challenging calligraphy test. because the ob of this circle is 3.
Challenging.
And let's see if you make a fortress. Hooray!
Hey!
Fortress attained. Okay. So you all stand in this circle now.
Cool.
It takes 6 hours. Also need to, I guess, roll for tools. The tools survive. Cool.
Yay! If you get a 6, your tools get an extra for use.
No, if
double the tools.
if you get no, you just always have tools until you roll a 1, and then you don't have tools anymore.
Right. What happens if you roll a 6 though?
Then you still have tools.
Oh.
It's only on a 1 that you lose them. Same with ammo and stuff. Yeah. Okay. So now, Rokujai
Does his thing.
does his thing. So he wants a Strength 3 spirit to reveal information. He is imminent with the spirit world because he is well bred, which gives him a +1 die.
That's my coffee maker, you rude bitch. Get off of there.
He wants an expansive medium. He wants the hallways of Valkhawsen, so it's +1 ob, so it's ob 4. And and the test is unhurried. Also, can he center himself? Meditation. Yeah, okay. So he's going to do a link test before spirit binding, actually, with meditation. Which is going to take more time. How do I set the ob for this, actually? Actually, I don't know how to set the ob for meditation, so he's not going to do that. Never mind. Yeah. Okay. So why don't you make... While I work all of this shit out, do you want to help him with astrology, or do you want to keep an eye out for danger and such?
I'll keep an eye out for danger. Sorry, Rosita.
No, it's fair enough. It's part of your job. Yeah. Okay. So why don't you make an ob. Yeah, you make an ob 3 observation test, and he's gonna make an ob 4 spirit binding test. So he gets +1 for imminence. He gets +1. I think Aina is gonna help him with her astrology. Oops, I've lost the page. There it is. So the first dice in this list will be a astrology die. And Yeah, okay. Base obstacle 3. Nice.
He did it!
He did it. Cool. Oh, wait, no, it's base obstacle 4. But he still did it. Yay!
Still did it!
Cool, yeah. So, what does this look like? Let's think. I think so. He takes a few steps, like around the perimeter of this circle, and you and Aina are like standing in the middle, or maybe you're standing looking out, about to make your observation test. Oh, cat.
My coffee maker. That's my fucking coffee maker. He's just standing right on top of it.
Is it because it's warm?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so he, so I think Aina is like crouched next to you, and to aid with her astrology, like she's like laid down a few like symbologists or like geomancers cards, and like rolls a 10-sided dice or something, and like mutters something, and then whispers it to Rokujai, who nods. And then he begins this like slow procession, like walking around the perimeter of the fortress circle, but still keeping within it. And once he has made like a full oscillation, he like very carefully whispers a few phrases in Old Realm, and then says, "Spirits of Valkhawsen, reveal unto me what thing it is from this place where I dwelled so long ago that still haunts me to this day." Yeah, and then I think there's like a long kind of moan that echoes.
It doesn't come from the air, it comes from the stones.
Yeah, like the stones
walls.
kind of groan slightly, and it reverberates down and echoes through the whole building.
Oh, jeez.
In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, stealthy might be better instead of observation to get out. And yeah, it kind of like it hits like you hear the reverberation come from above, and then it hits like the room that you're in, and as it hits the ground, like all of the flagstones that you're standing on like rumble a little bit, and some dust falls down from the ceiling. But there's this like the like Old Realm scripture on the outermost perimeter of the circle that you're standing in, and the complete line around it that's like underlining it all, on the outer layer, like shines with this bluish white light up from the floor, and yeah, there's like a kind of like shaking sensation that fills Rokujai's body. Like his hands start shaking, and he like holds his hands, shaking hands against his temple, and crouches and like lets out a small moan of pain. And then it fades. Like the shaking stops, the moaning stops. And I need to roll 2d6. Actually, no, it's instant. Yeah. So I guess retribution happens now, because this is just a simple thing. Yeah. So whilst you're in the circle, there's like this force that tries to like push against the sides, and you see it kind of like the light that's rising up from the circle around you like kind of bends inwards a bit, like there's a kind of gravitational force being applied to it, but then it ceases and the light fades and everything goes still again for a moment. And Rokujai just like, you stay in the circle, and Aina says like, stay in the circle for a sec. And you can hear like voices come from like a corridor above, like 2 or 3 rooms above you, and like you can hear sudden footsteps coming down and stuff.
Cool.
And then Rokujai like stands up, like he stops shaking, he like breathes out quite calmly and says let me just find a name. Yeah, he says like he looks at like Aina and you, like, and says this kind of expecting you both to know what he's talking about, but neither of you know what he's talking about. And he says, of course, I'd forgotten all about her, but this makes sense. A sapphire.
Do you have the answer you need?
Yes, I do.
Okay, quickly, we need to go.
Sapphire.
I just start pushing. Come on.
Yeah, and he's like still kind of dazed by the revelation.
All right, now I will.
Now
let's do
a stealthy. Yeah, so let's see who has the slowest speed. Not Rokujai, probably Aina. Yeah, so Aina's gonna have to test her speed. Oh no, you are, because you're suffering from a -1 die penalty, so you have the lowest speed.
Boo!
So
now does this count as a race?
Let's see. Yeah, you're at +1 ob for stealthy test. So yeah, you're the loudest.
Should I cast my thing?
Yeah, you can totally do that. I'm just checking who has to make the stealthy test, and it's going to be you.
Okay.
So you can use Zone of Silence stance, which is ob 2 to open end your stealthy for the scene.
Cool.
And the others won't have to test.
Can I also attempt the trackless passage stuff?
I'd say you have time to do one or the other. I'd say if you do.
Alright, Zone of Silence.
Well, I would say if you do trackless passage style, which is ob 5, but you get +2 dice for essence when you try to do it. If you do successfully do that, then there won't be a follow-up test. You just leave successfully because you're basically calling on a minor miracle to get you the fuck out of Dodge.
Right.
Whereas the Zone of Silence is just making you better at stealth. So if you try to use trackless passage style here, then I'd say it can have absolute success, and you just leave.
Okay.
So it's up to you. Do you want to make 2 tests?
I'll try the trackless style thing.
Okay. So it's ob 5 essence test with +2 dice.
+2 dice.
Yeah.
I will put my singular persona in this.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I would like this to succeed.
Yeah. Let's see. So failure here. Yeah, because this is now carrying the weight of absolute success, I'd say failure here means that not that you don't escape Valkhawsen, but that you are tracked.
Trapped where?
Tracked. Like you're trying not to be tracked, so failure here, I think, is you get the opposite of your intent. Jesus, what are you doing?
Hefty. Sorry, I'm feeding my cats. This is some hefty shit, man.
Which just means that, like, it might turn into a chase instead of... Like, yeah, so failure here means, like, something else will happen.
Okay. Alright.
And do you want Anima Flare or Tax?
Hold on. Money! Yeah, wait. 1 second.
I guess Tax makes the most sense.
Okay. Alright, here we go. I got 2 sixes though! No way, it's open-ended.
It's already open-ended. You can spend fate to reroll a failure.
Yes! I will do it! Help! Is it also an open dice or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Please, 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 damn it!
Damn. Okay, so no difficult test because it's not successful.
Where do I...
Put one
I'll put
fate
it
and
in.
one persona into essence, though.
Oh.
Hey, first persona for essence. Cool. Okay, also make an Ob 5 fort test. Okay, you get taxed 4 dice. Cool.
Oh, I should have attempted to, like, I don't know, do a stunt or something, but I didn't.
Yeah, you
cool.
didn't. Okay, so yeah, I think, like, you start running, basically, and, yeah, people start chasing you.
I mean, we have a little bit of time. But, I mean, it's just that they can track us.
Yeah, so it's like, you will be tracked. Like, your intent was not to get out and not be tracked. You failed, you got out, but you will be tracked. And I think it's more interesting if I sit on this for a session or so. That, like, Valkhawsen, the school of Valkhawsen knows that they had intruders, and they've managed to track you back to the hotel, but they haven't done anything about that yet.
Now, hold on. I didn't say we were immediately leaving.
Okay, what are you doing then?
Okay. At the docks, because I think we've gotten out. Alright. We've left.
Yeah, and it's now like sun is gonna rise in an hour or something. Actually, no, probably because it was 6 a.m. by the time. Yeah, so sun is probably now risen, or is rising.
Okay. Well... No, that doesn't make any sense. That'd be medicating. Never mind then. Yeah, okay, we just go back to the hotel. We think we've gotten away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you like, for all intents and purposes, you think that your
in the clear.
Your miracle worked, but it didn't. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so they like, Valkhawsen don't know who you are or why you did that, but they know that somebody who lives or who is at that hotel, or 3 people who were at that hotel have been, like, sneaking about, yeah.
Doing things they shouldn't.
Mm. Yeah, and so you get back to the hotel.
Oh, hold on. Again.
Sure.
Sí. Alright. Please continue.
Yeah, so you get back to the hotel. And you're, like, walking through these, like, icy streets now, on the way back. Like the snow has gotten deeper and it's, like, frozen over, so it's all, like, crunchy, and slippery and stuff. Yeah, you get back to the hotel, you have breakfast, and then you go to bed. Or that's at least Rokujai and Aina's intent. Do you want to also go to sleep, or are you staying up?
I'm gonna assume this basically brings the session to a close.
Yeah, I think so. Though there's a thing that I want to declare happens, but I want to know, like, what you're doing first. Because
No, I'm
basically,
just gonna.
choosing to continue being awake at this point may start invoking fatigue tests, for example.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do like a checkup on comatose lady.
She's still comatose.
No. Like, you can't just leave someone in a bed and, like, for a couple of days and they're fine. You know, they still have to be fed, they have to be given water, they have to be turned so they don't get blood sores.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so you tend to her.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, okay. Make sure that she's still alive and not gonna die.
Yep. I need her alive.
Which she is. And then I think like you're just about to go to bed. Like you move over to the curtains to like close them as the morning light is coming in. And just as you're about to close them, there is this like huge resounding explosion sound that like booms deeply and echoes across the whole city. And it sounds... You can't see... Like, you don't see an explosion or anything, but you just hear it. But it sounds like it's coming in the direction of the Luxai Manse. And as you... well, unless you're reacting immediately, if you continue to just look out of the window to try and see from your position what's happening or anything, you see from the direction of the Luxai Manse, like, black, grey smoke rising.
Huh.
More than just rising, like billowing out of one of the buildings in that direction.
Do I see any guards do anything down below?
I think you're kind of in a hotel in like a dense part of town, like, so you don't really have a good vantage point. There's a huge wall and stuff. You maybe see some like, you maybe see some like two guards run past, one shouting something to the other, and then they keep running past. But there's no like, it's hard to say what happened from this vantage, at least.
And then nothing else happens. That's it. That's the one singular event.
Nothing immediate. Though, as you look at the dark cloud that's rising up and now like beginning to fill the sky, you think for a moment, the visage of the cloud rising through the sky reminds you briefly, like there are twisting shapes within it that briefly remind you of the dark metal plating armor that you saw roll past on a bridge 2 days ago.
Alright. Okay then. Well, time for a nap.
And so if you're happy to end there, then we can end there.
Yep, I will end there. Like, I know that I probably should do something about it, but I'm also very tired.
No, that's fair enough. It can be a thing for next session. If
No,
you even
the
care
Benatti
at all.
is very tired.
Yeah. And, I mean, you might not even care at all, but it's a thing that has happened.
No, I care. I want to know.
Mm. Well, you'll have to find out next time on The Burning Wheel. Dragon Ball Z music.
It's called the Exalted Wheel.
Well, we're still playing Burning Wheel, just with Exalted.
With Exalt. The Exalted Wheel. Yeah. We've exalted the wheel in creation.
Anyway.
We did it!
We did it! Cool. Let's learn some Arta. Beliefs. You didn't do anything for belief 1.
Nope. I took a bullet for Rokujai.
Yeah, I think fate for belief 2. Do you feel like your third belief is complete? Like I will talk to her.
I don't think she's the weakest link anymore.
Assess her abilities for any upcoming trouble. I feel like you've done that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Rokujai is now the weakest link.
So, Persona for belief 3.
Gasp.
And I guess fate for a special belief, right?
Yeah! I researched demons for Queen Maria. And found out that there's a possibility she's a demon.
And first instinct. Probably not. Any of your traits?
Not sure. Mercenary, maybe, as I was talking about all the blood and like, well, you know, hey, you can bleed a lot before you die, and I'm not gonna kill no Exalt if someone ain't gonna pay me.
Yeah, yeah, like you definitely acted more mercenary-like in today's session than you have in many previous sessions. So sure, let's give you a fate for that.
I was tired, Will. I've had enough. I've had enough of this shit. Y'all people better watch out. Donati's fucking pissed. Just like that Kirby picture.
Kirby picture?
Yeah. Kirby's fucking pissed. The meme.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh my god. Time to show you.
Okay. So add 3 fate and 1 persona.
Yeah.
And the other condition, embodiment, mold breaker, right skill, right time, and humor. Did I throw... yeah, no, I guess that doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, so just 3 fate, 1 persona. Do you want me to do it, or are you good? Jen? Jen? I can't believe Jen is dead. You're dead. Okay. Jen died. I'm just gonna... I'll add your Artha for you. Cool. Okay, well, I guess, good thing we ended the session now. Well, if you're listening to this, then thanks for listening. And, goodbye.